Hey there, this is Mario from shockingfit.com, and in this video you're going to learn how to become more consistent. And I know that's a big promise. I mean, the simple fact is that consistency is the most important thing when it comes to achieving success. And that's not just when it comes to gym, like just hitting the gym very consistently or eating healthy food consistently, but to any area of your life, like anything you want to achieve in your life, adherence and really putting an action plan that you can stick to is the primary factor when it comes to achieving or not achieving that goal. So when it comes to consistency, what is important? Well, we talked a lot about motivation, habits, and all these things that they are really, really important. And I think there's one missing component to that, and that's the component that I wanted to dissect a little bit and break down today in this video and lay out a little bit of research, some books that you guys can check out. And speaking of books, the actual concept that kind of, I guess, nudged me into this area was the book, The Little Book of Talent from Daniel Coyle. You might have read his book, The Talent Code, which he was very famous for, and it's an amazing material. I mean, great book that I would highly recommend you. He talks about, basically breaks down the talent myth, like all these myths that are around talent. He kind of breaks it down into like deliberate practice and putting in the effort on a consistent basis and really focusing perfect practice and breaking down the skill set into small chunks, mastering over time. I mean, I don't want to spoil the book for you, but definitely check out the book, The Talent Code. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. And in his other book, The Little Book of Talent, he mentions a concept called the sweet spot. And this is a concept that I personally call the consistency point, right? So what I mean by that is that every single skill, every single action, every single goal you have, everything you're doing in your life has a consistency point. That is a point where the task, if you add any more difficulty, the task will become less consistent, less sustainable. And that is a point, if you ease up on it, it's not going to be exciting anymore. It's not going to be challenging anymore for you. So in the end, you will not really push yourself to achieve it. It's very interesting when you look at about it. Let's say someone approaches me and say, hey, I want to start working out in the gym. And that's a very common thing I hear. And if I told the person, hey, dude, like you just go to the gym 6 times a week for 2 hours, kill it. 5 sets of 5 on main lifts, 3 sets of 10 on accessory movements, and let's do about 25 minutes of abs. And that person would probably give up within like 2 weeks if they never done anything like that before, because I'm just overwhelming them. I'm pushing them so far outside of their comfort zone that it creates anxiety. So before they go to the gym, they would be like, shit, I need to do that again, like what the fuck, it's not sustainable. But again, if that same person came to me and said, hey, dude, I want to start a gym program, and if I tell them, hey, just go to the gym, do 1 set of bench press and go home, would that person take me seriously? Would that person even believe that that 1 set of bench press would help them? I mean, probably not, and it's probably not even going to help them reach their goal, maybe a little bit. But the point is that there is a sweet spot where we are kind of like perfectly calibrated to have maximum consistency, and that is what I call the consistency point. Daniel Coyle calls that the sweet spot, and he talks about that everything that you're building, every skill that you're building, every talent, you can push yourself too far outside of the comfort zone, but you can also stay within your comfort zone, and in either direction you won't grow. And I just expanded the concept a little bit to kind of expand it to all areas of your life and to all habits that you're building. Like I talk a lot about the meditation habit, and I gave an example like last time how I try to manage and build up my meditation habit, and I started with 2 minutes every day for 6 months, right? I didn't start off with 2 seconds every day because I felt like those 2 minutes are what is sustainable for me, and it's also kind of exciting for me, and I'm also getting the benefits. So this consistency point that I'm talking about is something that's very individual. So some people might find that they can perfectly sustain 5 minutes of meditation every single day, even if they've never done it before. And for them, the 5 minute might be that exact point that is a little bit outside of the comfort zone. For me, it was 2 minutes, right? So when you look at habits, you want to make sure to find something that is individually sustainable for you. And it's kind of that when you look at your whole life, like everything that you want to achieve is adding to the same place when it comes to like additional stress. So I feel like that a lot of the consistency point related stuff just plays into the role of how much you can handle, right? So you want to really be careful with, you even want to downplay it a little bit and try to build it up slowly. Rather go a little bit less than a little bit more, and that will allow you for more consistency. And as I've simply applied this concept to everything so far that I've tried to do. I mean, my pre-bed ritual, like eating healthy food, like all sorts of things that I've achieved in my life, like setting up a schedule for filming these videos, for example, like putting out articles, writing emails, answering emails, like all these things. I just find a sweet spot of, okay, how many emails can I consistently answer every single day that is going to keep me excited and kind of wondering, okay, I'm talking to my audience and it's super cool, but also it's not going to be like too much for me that I start hating my life and I'm going to be like, oh shit, I need to answer a fucking email again, right? If I try to answer like 150 emails a day, that's probably what's going to happen. So find your sweet spot, find your consistency point, and apply it. So a very interesting study on this was actually one where they took two groups of people and analyzed the high achievers and the low achievers when it comes to goal setting. And what ended up happening, they gave them a game. So the game was simply to toss 3 rings onto a stake in the center of the room, right? So, and they were observing this on the mirror, right? One-sided mirror on the other side, like a thing where you can view from, like in movies, for example, like when the cops are like interrogating someone. So the researchers were observing, and the lower performers, like the low achievers, were actually just going in there, and some of them will walk closer, they throw in all that at stake and just walk out. Some of them would just end up at the end of the room, throw one, maybe random other position, throw the second one, and they would blow all their tries, and they wouldn't really have any strategy, right? But what happened with the highest achievers, what they did was they actually walked in the room, they first analyzed everything, and they said, okay, so if I pick a middle point, I'm gonna try once. They tried once, so they are trying to find their sweet spot, right? So they're trying once, they try once, and if they hit it, they stay there, try a second time, and if they didn't hit it, they would actually adjust. They would either move a little bit forward or a little bit backward. So the highest achievers naturally, or learned, that hasn't been disclosed in the study, but they have a sense of finding that consistency point that is going to allow them to achieve a goal. And even that very simple game, like tossing a ring on a spike in the middle of the room, they have that sense, okay, I need a strategy to find the sweet spot that will give me the ability to consistently hit my goal, right? It's a very, very interesting study, so I'm going to leave that as well, obviously, in the description below, like always. So if you guys are fascinated a little bit about this idea, I'm actually curious how you're going to apply this in your life. So in which area of your life are you going to apply the concept of the consistency point? And definitely leave that in the comments below. Let's discuss a little bit. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.